Points to observe is this cable here, which has got TPS throttle position sensor connector, and this end here, what's that? That's what is that? It's a pressure sensor, I think. It's the intake, intercooler pressure sensor. This one here is I think it's a temperature sensor, the grey connector. This whole loom here, it's got to come out. I'm gonna clips in here, which I've already undone. I've undone the clip there, and I'm going to undo this clip, and I'm going to feed it all the way through, and I'm just trying to remind myself that this is how it sits. Okay, disconnect the idle up actuator, which is this guy here. This hose here goes to the vacuum, to the idle up diaphragm, and this relay or vacuum switch will switch that in. This bottom one connects to this vacuum hose over here. I've also had to unscrew the power steering fluid. One screw up top and two screws, one screw there, one screw there, down below. Other things to remember are I've actually taken the screws out with the intercooler at the same time as the intercooler. I've removed this screw and this screw. At the same time, it allows this pipe, which is the turbo inlet, the metal pipe I removed, and I've blocked off the hole. And this is the exhaust from the this goes into the intercooler from the turbo. It goes through the intercooler and back down into the engine. Okay, I'm just reassembling the intercooler onto the throttle body. I'll also be putting in a boost gauge install. One interesting thing, now that I'm really having to think about it, is we've got the butterfly inside the throttle body. Is underneath the butterfly there's a pipe, a bit of PVC, a bit of tubing coming off to this what I believe is a fuel filter. Point to note, if I blow into this here, it actually blows, it's free flowing this way, but it's actually restrictive that way, so it could be something like a one-way kind of valve, but anyway, this goes to the pressure sensor. So the bottom one goes to the pressure sensor. So depending on the throttle, the flap, the flap inside the throttle body, if it's open, then the pressure differential between the turbo pressure and underneath will be less than if it were closed. If it were closed, the pressure, this would have a lower pressure associated to it. This top, on top of the butterfly, this goes to this connector on the end of the intercooler. Now, I'm not really too sure why that would be. The only thing I can think of is that might actually be an oil drain, because of maybe, I've got no idea. Maybe this is a low point in the intercooler. When it's sitting, it might be sitting on a slight angle, and it would drain the oil back into the throttle body. because other than that, it looks like it's in the same cavity as the throttle body itself, so the pressures would be the same. So it'd be pointless having that return, and it's going on the same side on the upper side of the throttle body. So that must be an oil return. That pressure sensor will be used by the ECU.